Greetings. Welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Death Taxes and Sports podcast. I'm here with several of not several. I'm so used to saying several, but it's just one. It's my fellow Johnson & Wales alum and not fellow Broncos fan, but we'll work it out. But sir, how you doing today?
Doing good, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good. Oh, you're on mute.
Yes, my AirPods are not working once again. Lovely technology, so we're going to improvise here. So today we got a little bit of NFL mock draft. We got a little bit of trades. We got a little bit of fun stuff. Sir, would you care to explain how we're going to do this a little bit?
Absolutely. So we're mostly going to alternate picks. We're going to keep it as real and as similar to the NFL draft on Thursday as possible. The trades will be announced during the draft, the same as they will be on Thursday. They won't be explained or analyzed during our little mock draft here, same as Thursday. So we will explain the rationale on the trades after we have completed. And we're just going to do round one mock draft, and we're going to have some fun.
Yeah, let's get right to it. Sir. And we are off, sir. I believe you're on the clock.
I got number one overall. No surprises here. Caleb Williams, see you later. You are up, sir, with your Washington Commanders. Who you got?
Oh man, this one between like the quarterbacks, obviously between Jake May and Jaden Daniels. I am not a big Drake May fan. I have him down my board, so I'm going to go Jaden Daniels with the number 2 pick. I mean,
Daniels. Okay, Daniels is off the board. All right, number 3 overall, we got the Patriots, which it's going to be interesting what they do on Thursday because they hold a lot of cards. But I'm going to tell you what they're going to do right now. This is our first trade, and it's a big one. So we know the Minnesota Vikings need a quarterback. So we also know at this point they've not paid Justin Jefferson. So here we go. The Vikings are going to trade to the Patriots. Justin Jefferson, the number 23 overall pick, 4th round pick, and a 5th round pick. The Vikings are going to move up to the number 3 overall pick, and they're also going to acquire a 5th round pick. So now I will process it here on our lovely Pro Football Network shout out. So let's go New England, trade. We go Vikings, trade, and 3 and 5.
Yeah, click on.
Yep, there we go. 23. And this one here, and propose. We cannot add in Justin Jefferson, but Justin Jefferson in this mock draft is going to the Patriots, just to be clear. Okay. Trade has been accepted. I am now picking as the Vikings, who need a quarterback. And here we go. Drake May off the board. Vikings have their quarterback. Sir, Cardinals.
I mean, I think they already have Kyler Murray, the way he played in the second half upon its return, kind of cemented his status as the guy, which I'm happy for him because the man's a phenomenal talent. But I think I'm going to go a little bit of a shocker on this one. I'm going to go Marvin Harrison on this one. I mean, boy, that's
Marvin
a shocker.
Harrison Jr. Yeah, a real shocker.
I really think it's going to go like this.
I don't know how to react.
I mean,
the man is, if you look on like top 100 or top 150, like he's number 1. Like he could go number 1 overall. That's how good.
I mean, they try to, you know what the media does? They try to, hype up a player a little bit. Now Romeo Dunze and Malik Neighbors are both phenomenal talents, but Marvin Harrison
just stands out.
Marvin Harrison is that guy. Like he's been the guy ever since he stepped on campus. So let's stop all the mess. All right, who you got?
So I'm going to throw a little curveball, I believe, because you're probably expecting me to take a receiver, given the Chargers got rid of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. And they may, but Justin Herbert is their franchise quarterback. They paid him a lot of money. You can never have enough offensive linemen. And Joe Alt is one of the best linemen of the last 10 years. So there's your curveball. Joe Alt, number 5. Chargers don't draft a receiver.
Okay. Now with the number 6, there is a trade. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Second trade. Here we
So
go.
the
So
Minnesota Vikings have traded the number
no, Giants. Giants and
Giants.
Broncos.
I'm
Silly boy.
sorry. I'm sorry. Whatever. It's a mock one. It's a mock one. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Say the
So
trade. Well, yes.
excuse me, Sunshine. I'm reading. The Denver Broncos have traded the number 12 overall pick, third round, fourth round to the Giants for the number 6 and second round pick. Yeesh.
All right. So there we go. Propose the trade and confirm. Okay. Now, your Broncos, your beloved Broncos. Who are you choosing?
I just know that they're probably going to do this and they're going to overdraft him, but JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy.
If you make that trade, you do it. I mean,
Geoff, just so you know, too, see up here, I can change. Like, if you want me to just look at just defense or just offense, you can just let me know.
Sounds good. As we get down in the draft, it's going to get fun. Right now, it's kind of obvious who's going to go where.
Yeah. At the moment. But we do have another shocker. We have another trade because this is our thing, and we want to do trades. So here we go. Okay, proposed trade. The Vikings again. They could be active on Thursday. They're going to be active right now. So we got Tennessee. Here we go. Tennessee. We got the Vikings with another trade. Vikings are going to move back into the top 10, get the number 7 pick and a 6th. And the Titans are going to move back, get number 11 and a 4th round pick, which is 108. Propose. So now, Vikings. Ooh, look at that. Look what receiver is there. Boom. Malik Neighbors. There we go. Sir, Falcons is yours, sir. Oh, sorry. Were you going to ask me a question on Neighbors?
Yeah, Neighbors. He's just. I just want to talk about him just for a second because, you just talk about because I had some notes here on Malik Neighbors, and I mean, where is he? 6 foot. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's kind of a little bit slim, but the dude's built. He has a little bit more speed, I think, than Marvin Harrison. I think they say that he reminds them of Odell before the injuries.
Yeah, and it works too because LSU connection. So that works pretty good.
I don't know, man. I kind of feel like he's kind of boom or bust for me. It's just
they said now that we're talking about him, I just give you a little stat here. So Neighbors posted 1,569 receiving yards in 2023, second in FBS. So I mean, there's not a lot of people don't feel there's much of a gap between Neighbors and Harrison Jr. And Neighbors, to your point, he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah. So
a big boy, like up top, big boy.
Exactly. All right, so we got Atlanta Falcons here, and as we're getting down here, I want to talk about like some of their needs. I mean, I think out of all of them, I think that secondary has been a little bit suspect, but I also think they need another receiver to go outside of Drake London. So I'm going to go. I really think they should go edge rusher on here, but I'm going to go Romeo Odunze on this one.
Odunze. Okay, I like it. So
you got to use that. He's wide receiver for Washington.
Look at that. Just a quick summary. In our draft, which could take reality in Thursday as well, we have number 4 receiver, number 7 receiver, number 8 receiver. So we got some boys. Who's up? Chicago Bears. Who are they going to get to pair with Caleb Williams? What do they need? They got a lot of needs. They got a lot of needs. They got weaknesses just about everywhere, although they have improved their wide receiver with getting Keenan Allen, although he's injury prone, to pair with DJ Moore. So they got some help on offense. I just feel like with young quarterbacks, this doesn't really fit necessarily their need according to Pro Football Network, but the young quarterbacks, you need all the offensive linemen you can get. You need protection. That's part of the reason Fields is not in Chicago anymore, because they didn't have enough production. So they could take Bowers, they could take Arnold, they could take Turner. All those are needs. Corner, edge, tight end. They could get a nasty tight end with Bowers, but you know what? I'm going with a lineman because a young quarterback, you need linemen. So I'm going with a lineman.
Mm,
I'm going with the lineman because I
okay.
mean, I just feel like young quarterback, man, you need a strong offensive line, or else what do you got?
Oof. Okay.
So I
Really?
throw
So
a little curveball at you. Little
okay, but
curveball.
the guy from Penn State, though, the guy from Penn, that's really interesting. Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
man.
Okay. Okay.
So I think we got number 10, the
Yeah.
Jets, but I think we got
Yeah.
another trade.
I mean, yeah, with the Jets. What is that
So
trade there?
yeah, we got you got the Jets, and I got the Rams at 19, and the Rams love to move up, love to be aggressive. So here we go. Here's the trade. Okay, so the Jets need draft picks because of the Aaron Rodgers trade and other trades. They've given up picks. So the Jets get the 19th and 99. So they get two top 100 picks, stay in the top 25. And the Jets are going to trade the 10th and a sixth round pick, which is this guy here. All right, propose. Okay. All right, sir. You are now drafting for the Rams at number 10. Who you got for number 10 at the Rams? Who you got?
I mean, this is a very interesting one because now that you're at 10 and you
Oh
look
no,
at
wait,
all,
sorry. I screwed that up. I screwed that up. I'm picking at 10, you're picking
okay.
at 19. So I'm gonna pick for the Rams here. You're gonna pick 19 for the Jets. So the Rams, another team that could use some help in probably a lot of places. And I'm gonna go with what Pro Football Network is saying as a weakness, as their edge. And these two, to me, I mean, there's a reason they're kind of right next to each other. I mean, there isn't a ton of a gap between the two. And I am just going personal preference, and I'm going to go. Um, excuse me, let me lose my train of thought there. I am going to go with. I'm still thinking, kind of flip flopping in my own mind here. And I'm gonna go with what I first was gonna go with, which is homeboy from Alabama, which is Dallas Turner. So I'm going
Okay.
Bama, going Bama there. And
Okay.
now, given the Vikings and the Titans trade, so now the Titans at 11, picking for the Titans, and I am going to go. They got a need at corner. They could use some help on defense, big time. Best corner available. There we go. So now, sir, number 12, your pick, sir.
I mean, you're just gonna keep on making it easy for me. I mean, the Giants. I mean, you need offense, you need big playability. I mean, at receiver, you could go Brian Thomas, but I'm not sure if I'm in love
Okay.
with him that
Okay.
high. I'm not sure if I'm that in love with him that high.
Which one?
Um,
Who?
no, I'm saying like you're
Oh,
looking.
I know who
No,
you're
I'm
talking
just saying for the
about. Ryan.
offense. I'm just explaining my thought process here.
Yeah,
But
this
when
guy
you
you
got,
don't want to draft this high. That's what you're saying.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
draft Brian Thomas too high because I think that's overdrafting, and you
I
want to
got you. I
avoid
got
that. But with Darren Waller, we don't know that situation. You
you.
could go
Mhm.
offensive line here, but if Brock Bowers lands to you, you got to
Yeah.
take him. I know he doesn't fit like a
They
need,
let's
but
be honest. They need all the help they can get on
yeah,
offense.
yeah, you need skill talent
They
offense,
need
and I
all the.
think Brock Bowers could play receiver. And I mean, he could. He's just he. I mean, he's like a Todd Heap. I'll say that. That's what he reminds me of.
I know he did a lot of horrible things, and I know he's dead right now. But it's kind of like an Aaron Hernandez, but bigger, like athleticism. Like Bowers is like bigger, but he's freaking fast, man. Like
Yeah.
he's sort of like Aaron Hernandez, to be honest, a little bit
But
to me.
take Jeremy Shockey's toughness.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you there. I'm with
Yeah.
you there.
Yeah.
So now we got the Raiders at 13, which they could definitely move up. And on Thursday, they may move up. But for the sake of right now, they have stand pat because let's say they didn't like any of the offers. So they got another team, a lot of needs, right? I mean, they could you could reach necessarily for a quarterback, and given the Raiders' history, like they reach a lot. Now, granted, that was mostly under John Gruden, but they have reached a lot. So if they were here at 13 and drafted Penix, I would not be shocked. I personally would not do it, so I'm not going to do it right now. Um, they need they need a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of holes with the Raiders. I'm going to stick to kind of what I guess I have been doing in drafting offensive linemen. So I'm going to take homeboy. I'm going to try his name, Talais Puaga. So that's where I'm going. You have the Saints, sir.
I mean, where do you begin? You look at quarterback, right? You look at quarterback. You look at Bo Nix. You look at Michael Penix. I
Yep,
like all
yep.
those guys, but I think that they are still too highly drafted. And I look at Bo
Mm-hmm.
Nix as a guy who was a very good system quarterback, didn't have to do a lot of progressions, didn't play in a pro style type of offense. When he played at Auburn, he was absolutely horrendous. So I'm still kind of a little
Yep,
bit leery
yep.
on him. But if Joe Alt lands here as an offensive tackle, who I think is the best offensive tackle in this draft, if he falls to you and you need that, that's a steal at 14. I think he's a top 10 draft pick. So I
Oh
would go
yeah.
with Joe. I would go with Joe Alt if he lands there. I know you could go quarterback, but I think you could get like a Spencer Rattler in the second or third round and be just as good.
I
Because I
think
think,
I think Alt like has the potential to be as dominant and as great as the current Cowboys guard Zach Martin, first ballot Hall of Famer. Like I
yeah,
think he could be that good. Like Zach Martin was like all pro his rookie year. Like
mhm,
he's been one of the best five linemen for like the last 12 years.
yeah,
Like Alt could be that good. I could see it.
love it. All right, sir.
It is your pick. Alt is gone, so you got to pick somebody.
Oh, damn. Oh, wow. Wow.
Alt went. I picked. Oh, I should shocked you at number 5,
Oh,
and
damn, my fault.
and
No, you
shocked
didn't. You didn't
you.
pick him. You picked him at what? Oh, damn, my
Picked him
bad.
at
My
5
bad.
right there.
My bad. My bad. My bad. I'm trying to keep track of all the different players. So,
Here you go.
um,
Here's your big board. I can go offense if
okay,
you want.
go to
Let me click on
offense. Go to
defense.
offense. Go to offense.
Offense. All right. Any
Yeah, go
position
to
or just
offensive
offense?
tackle. Offensive tackle. Go
Offensive
which?
tackle.
Yeah, the guy from Washington.
This
That
guy
was the
here.
guy that I was going to do. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. You get
yeah.
caught up on alt. I feel you.
It's just too many players. I was just like losing track. So, my
No,
bad.
you're good, man. You're good, man. So now, I mean, we come to a little bit of an interesting decision here where the Colts, because I'm technically on the clock here, the Colts, I mean, you see it right there. Edge is a need, but it's kind of towards like the third or the fourth need. They got a corner as a need as well,
But
and
here's what
they
I
got
will say though.
receiver as a need. So there's a lot of options here between best available here. But go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, if I was the Charger, if I'm the Colts in real life and Brock Bowers falls, I try to trade up and get him.
I agree. They don't have a tight end.
I'm just saying, if I
They don't
can,
have a tight end. They just
go
don't.
with Anthony Richardson needs a good tight end, and if you can to trade up 2-3 spots to get him, you do it. That's all I was going to say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree with you there for sure. So I mean, you got a nice big board over here where like 13 through 18, like these four guys, Latu, Verse, Mitchell, Mims, and then you could do a little bit of a reach, maybe you could say maybe a little bit of a reach and go Brian Thomas, the other receiver from LSU. I think that they might take that leap. They might stick to their defense because that's a big weakness for them as well. So I'm gonna say you need all the weapons you can get for your quarterback, and I am for your young quarterback, which is Anthony Richardson, and I'm gonna get him some help here, and I'm gonna go ahead and take Brian Thomas.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Seattle Seahawks.
I couldn't keep it the same. I've been drafting offensive linemen everywhere. I had to switch it up.
Oh man, the Seahawks are like a perfect storm, right? Because you look at their offense, they got three good receivers, right? Lockett,
Mhm.
Smith and Jogba, and then also DK Metcalf. They're
Yep.
solid at tight end, right? They're solid at running back.
Yep.
Offensive line can improve just a little bit, but man, Geno Smith, like there needs to start being that, like, okay, so
Like
it's
a
like,
transition, somebody else.
yeah,
Like a
yeah, yeah. So
like
it's
like a pivot sort of.
yeah, yeah. So like, if I'm them, do I take this? Do I go quarterback, or do I try to contend and try to put all my chips and maybe try to get? But again, I think 16 is too high for Penix or Bo Nix. So I'm going to say on defense, go to defense, and
Okay.
I think they need to
Yep.
continue to improve their pass rush. And
Okay.
honestly, I want to go with Jared Verse from Florida State. I actually like him a lot.
Okay. Okay.
I just think it's between him and that cornerback from Toledo, but
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. Quentin Mitchell. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Quentin Mitchell, there was a lot of questions about him playing against elite competition because he played at Toledo. But then when he
Mm-hmm.
played at the Senior Bowl, I was reading they were kind of like, okay, this guy's as legit as it comes. But no, but Jared Verse, I think he's going to be a steal at that pick. I think he's
Oh
one
yeah,
of the
he
more
could.
underrated.
Jared Verse. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut in. Jared Verse we could see him go in the top 10. I
Yes,
mean, it's not
absolutely.
crazy. I mean, he's rated, between 12 and 15 on just about everybody's board. So going in the top 10 would definitely would not be a shock at all.
Exactly.
So we
Exactly.
can see him go top 10 for sure.
Exactly. All right, Jacksonville. Curious to see where you're going with this one. They got man.
Jacksonville. I mean, they signed Gabe Davis, right? So now you got Christian Kirk, you got Gabe Davis, you got the tight end Ingram, you got some decent pieces. Obviously, you have Trevor Lawrence, who had a little bit of a down year, and let's say has been a little disappointing thus far. Although to be fair to him, you kind of have to throw out his rookie year and that shitstorm of Urban Meyer. So I would say the jury's still out on Lawrence. I think that he's probably slightly disappointed, but they got some pieces on offense. You could definitely kind of build the line a little bit. Take one of these guys and get the line. But you know what? I'm going to focus on defense, and I'm going to go ahead and draft homeboy from Toledo that you were just talking about, Quentin Mitchell. So he is off the board.
Okay. Okay. Bengals, man. It's interesting that they put it at wide receiver because the whole T. Higgins situation
Higgins, yep, yep.
is going to come to a very abrupt end. So if I'm them, I would start to think about transitioning from him because I don't think he's going to be there at the end of the year. I don't think Tyler Boyd is an elite receiver. So you got to maximize Joe Burrow's health when he's actually healthy. So I'm going to say they need to go receiver here. And go
Okay.
to offense, go to receiver.
Yeah, I got it.
And
Let me go over
Brian
here.
Thomas.
Offense, receiver. Brian Thomas is gone.
Oh, he is already gone. Damn.
I chose him. Remember, I went.
Okay, listen, I'm just trying. It's too many people to keep track of. So hey, it is what it is. I'll fall.
Yeah, just let me know when you want to scroll over here. I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay.
But
Well,
if you want receiver, you got to go a little bit of a reach with these two, or you could.
I mean, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Mitchell. I'm gonna go Mitchell because
All
he's
right.
6'2". He's 6'2", and the man has great body control. So
I like it.
think, yeah, they got to go receiver.
I ain't hating on it. I like it. I like it. Due to our trade, you are picking for the Jets at 19. Your choice, number 19.
Jets.
Jesus.
Quarterback.
Tell me where you want to go.
We have so many needs, man.
I know.
I think they need to improve that offensive line. They need to invest in that offensive line heavily. Let's go offensive tackle if we can.
Yep. All right, here we go. Offensive tackle.
Yeah.
You got Georgia and Alabama homeboys right there. Yeah. Then you got Guyton at Oklahoma if you want to reach a little bit, I guess.
No, actually, I'm going to go. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm gonna go. Maybe because I'm a little bit biased, I'm gonna go with Mims, man. I like Mims. I think he's
Mims.
Yeah,
Mims. There ain't nothing wrong with Amarius Mims. I mean, and Aaron Rodgers would be happy. Aaron Rodgers needs all the protection he can get, so I'm sure he'd be okay.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna pause for a second and comment on one thing right here. Homeboy right here is still available. He's another guy that could be going in the top 10. Latu is how I'm going to say it. I hope that's right. But he could be in the top 10, and we're sitting here at 20, and Steelers don't really have that as a need because they got, Watt, and I forget the guy they signed in free agency. They grabbed somebody in free agency. So edge isn't really an issue there. So I'm gonna go offensive tackle and draft the other. I'm gonna draft the other SEC boy, JC Latham. Get Fields and Russell Wilson some protection. Whoever's gonna be the starter. So Latu is still there.
Okay, well, that's going to make it easy for me because it's either that or linebacker, but they have lost so many good players on defense to injury. Mm-hmm. They need to go and get the best defensive player available. Offense is not the issue outside of Tua. Let's take Latu, man. Can we just say this dude is 6'5", 259 pounds. Okay, this guy is a man amongst boys. And I was also reading here that he had a neck injury that forced him to miss 2 seasons. So I think that's why some people might drop him, because drafting a top 10 talent, but boy, if he falls in the 20s, you might get yourself a top 5 steal.
Well, you're getting a steal with him at 20 for sure.
Absolutely.
21, you're getting a steal for sure. The Steelers, given their love for defense, like if they actually had that choice at 20, even though it's not a need, they might actually do it because they're like, you know what? We love defense and we're just going to stay with defense, and that's what we're going to do. So I could definitely see the Steelers because that fits their as an organization, as a franchise, they love defense. Like, if you have to name famous Steelers, you're naming a lot more defensive players than offensive players. So if they've got that choice on Thursday, they might choose him. So, but now here we go with the Eagles at number 22. They got a pretty good team, right? I mean, obviously, they got a good team. For me personally, their issues last year, which obviously as a Cowboys fan didn't bother me, but their issues were mostly on defense. I mean, that's just what it was. And corner is probably their biggest spot, their biggest weakness. And I'm just going to have to stick with kind of best available here and going to grab homeboy from Clemson, Nate Wiggins.
Okay.
Now, here's the fun part. It's mine again here because I did that trade with the Vikings, and now the Patriots are sitting here at 23. They don't have a quarterback still, not in the draft at least. So do you reach for, or not reach? Well, I guess maybe reach for Penix or Bo Nix here, or do you focus on I don't have a good team, so I need all the help I can get? And I am choosing to go with a quarterback. And I am choosing Michael Penix. That's where I'm going. And now we have number 24. I believe, Geoff, you have number 29 with the Lions, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Would you like to move up to 24? Let's see what I can offer.
Lions. I don't think the Lions need to trade up, man. I think they're good where they're at. Like, I mean.
Yeah, but the Cowboys can use more draft picks, and I think that, I mean.
I just don't see the Lions need to move up. I'm just being, not trying to be an a-hole. I'm just saying, like, we can do it for fun, but I'm just saying, like, we could do it just for shits and giggles. But saying, like,
screw it. We can pick a different one, man.
We can't. I'm just saying, but like, just for the sake of discussion.
No, I'm saying. Hold on a second. Let's work on the fly here. Hold on. Give me a second. So let me see. So if Dallas is going to move down, who might move up? Who's after them? So we got Green Bay to 25. They're going to move up 1 pick. Arizona, they might move up. Buffalo might move up. Let's do Arizona because you got Arizona too. Let's do Arizona moving up 27 to 24. How's that?
We do it for fun, yeah. Why not?
Yeah, let's see. Because I agree with you. The Lions probably aren't going to move up.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, like they have to continue to improve, right? But like, I don't think where they're at, there's going to be that level of I guess the amount of talent is not going to is going to evaporate that quickly at 5 picks. That's going to make or break their franchise. I do think they need another receiver though, because I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. Let me come up with a trade here. Give me a second here. In the meantime, you can comment on anything you want to comment on while I'm getting this trade ready.
Oh, man, I mean, like I said, like there's just with these quarterbacks, right, that we discuss, we talk about at what point outside of May and Daniels and Williams, at what point if you're a team that needs a quarterback, how high do you go? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't even know about McCarthy, man. McCarthy he's a big mystery, but I mean the guy was 27-1 as a starter. Like, I mean, that's got to count for something. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for sure.
See what we got here.
So I don't know. Do we have any?
All right, here we go. I got it. I got one here. Let's go. We're just gonna alternate between. Here we go. 27, and we're gonna hit you up with 162, and you're gonna hit me up with 174. There we go. We're trading 3 spots there, trading 12 spots there. Makes sense for both teams. And maybe not. Maybe it doesn't make sense for both teams. Let's play around with it again. Okay. Trade with Arizona.
Yeah, man, these quarterbacks, man, these.
Okay, so
I just don't think these other guys, man, it's going to be really interesting.
All right, let's try this again. And see, I'll give you 87 for 90. How's that? See what happens. No. Okay. Yeah. Third time's a charm. That's what we're going to do. One more, and then if not, I'm just going to pick for Dallas.
Yeah, you do that. You're on the clock. Damn, you already ran out of time.
All right, so I'll give you – let's go here. And you give me – you move up 56, and you give me 66. Or how about you give me like a 6th-round pick or something? See if that works. No. All right, then I'm just gonna. We're just enough with that. I'm just gonna pick for Dallas then. So they got needs just about everywhere. So they need a center because they let go of homeboy. They need a linebacker. They need, and you know what? It's not showing up as a need, but watching Dallas over the last 5 years, they need big boys, and it's not showing up as a need, but they need big boys. So Johnny Newton from Illinois, welcome to Dallas.
Okay. Green Bay is a very
Geoff, go the next 2 because I just did 3 in a row. So you got 26.
Green Bay is a very interesting one. I think this is probably one of the more important drafts since Aaron Rodgers has left because Jordan Love has improved mightily, but you want to build around him and continue to give him the talent. They don't need a receiver. They do need help on defense, but you need to have a good running game. And if I'm them,
where are you going? Where are you thinking?
You know, it's like they need a running back, but do you take it with your first pick? I'm not sure because Jonathan Brooks is there, but he tore his ACL, so I'm not sure about him. Trey Benson would be a huge reach. Because he's 59th overall. He's a grade of 82. So you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go based on need. I'm going to go linebacker if you can.
Okay, here we go. Let's go over to linebacker.
And Mr. Peyton Wilson should be there.
Peyton Wilson?
Linebacker. I'm going for him, man. Why him, dog? Like, I mean, he's 6'3", 233, runs a sub 4.5 40, can go in coverage, can guard multiple positions, super quick. I think he's an immediate impact player, and I think he has great value. So I say go with him. Maybe go running back 2nd round.
All right.
And then
you are on the clock again with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, sir.
Yeah, if I'm them, I try to get as much offensive talent around Baker Mayfield as possible. Again, you don't want to go running back because that'd be way too high. So for a receiver, go for a receiver for me if you can.
He's right there.
Yeah.
You want this guy or this guy? Which one you want?
Now I'm going Xavier Worthy. Easy. That's an easy one for me.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just making sure
Easy.
because
Hands
they're
down.
rated
Yeah.
they're rated pretty close. So I was just making
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, so now 27. We got the Cardinals. Cardinals. They got needs, man. They got a lot of needs. So I could either go with best available with Brian Murphy, big old boy from Texas, or I could go, they need corner too, so I could go to I don't even the Kool-Aid McKinstry. That would be fun, drinking the Kool-Aid. Or, I could go receiver and draft the guy that you just didn't draft, Keon Coleman. And I just think the Cardinals are not a player or even two players or even three players away. And we got them a receiver over here, at number 4. We got them the best one in the draft, Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4. So they got a receiver. So I don't think they need to go receiver again, which on Thursday I could see them trading down to accumulate more picks because they're, like I said, they're not a guy away, 2 guys away, or even 3 guys away. So they might go down to accumulate more. But for the purposes of right now, I'm going to go ahead and take another big old boy and go with Byron Murphy II from Texas.
Okay. All right. Well, Buffalo. That's an easy one. They lost a lot of receivers, a lot of help.
Mm-hmm. You ain't
So
lying.
I mean, you need to go receiver. So we go receiver, sir.
Okay. Receiver.
And Keon Coleman. I don't like Keon Coleman. Honestly, man, I really like Jalen Polk over those other 2 guys from Washington. To be honest with you,
Hey, it's your draft. It's your pick.
Offense.
So if you
I
like
know a
Polk,
lot of people say about him, but his offensive pedigree is just through the roof. I think he's going to be legit. You put him with Josh Allen, he's going to do some special things.
you're choosing Polk?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay, there
I
we
know a
go.
little bit of a reach, but not even a reach at this point. But
Nah, yeah, I could see it. I mean, they do need receiver for sure. Now we go to the Lions, who have a pretty damn good team. They're picking at 29 because, ladies and gentlemen, they made the NFC Championship game. Yes, the Detroit Lions made the NFC Championship game, and Dallas Cowboys have still not made an NFC Championship game since 1995. Yeah! So, the Lions, being a pretty good team, I would say that their weakness, which our lovely friends at ProFootballNetwork.com, we appreciate them in this mock draft simulator. They agree. Their top 3 needs are edge, corner, defensive tackle. You know what? I like the name Chop Robinson because Chop is a fun name to say, and he's a hell of a player, and it fits a need. So we're going with Chop Robinson.
okay. All right. Yeah, Baltimore. The defense is going to be there. The defense is legitimate. They need to continue to improve that offense. They need to continue to. I just still think it's an underwhelming receiving core. So let's go to wide receiver if we can.
The homeboy you passed on is there, Keon Coleman.
I'm actually gonna go Lad McConkey over
All
Keon.
right. He
I'm
does
just not
not
a
like.
Keon Coleman fan. I don't know. Just sue me,
Okay.
whatever.
Listen,
You
if
know.
you don't like Keon Coleman, you're the one drafting. You ain't got to draft him. You good. We go to another team, which we are at that point in the draft, as you can see, these last 4. The Lions, NFC Championship game. The Baltimore Ravens, and AFC Championship game. The 49ers, NFC Championship game. The Chiefs, AFC Championship game. So we are these last 4 teams. They got pretty stacked rosters, right? So now, the Niners. I mean, what do you want to do? I mean, they could go with that corner, which I think Kool-Aid McKinstry. That would be a good pick for them. They definitely love their defense. You could try and get an offensive lineman, to help out Purdy because that offensive line for them, I think, is like good, but not great. And let's be honest, what's his name? Trent Williams is going to be a year older and already was dealing with some injuries. So could they go tackle here with Guyton? Sure. Could they go with Kool-Aid McKinstry to shore up that defense? I am going to stick with what the 49ers do. The 49ers do is defense, and we're going with the corner from Alabama, Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Okay. All right. This team,
Your favorite team, right?
they just had to win a Super Bowl.
Not one, by the way. Not
yeah,
one, not two,
yeah,
three.
but this one is just due to the recent news with Rashee Rice. I would say,
Yeah.
okay, right, but they also need a cornerback after Snead's gone. So it's like, where do you go? But you saw how that offense was without, like, Rashee Rice was so important, and I don't think he's going to play this season, to be honest with you, or he's going to miss a significant amount of time. And I don't think Hollywood Brown's it. And I think outside that receiving core is very underwhelming. So you're going to have to go with the best receiver, and that one is Keon Coleman.
All right, Geoff is finally picking Keon Coleman. There we go.
No shade towards him, man. It's no shade towards him. It's just,
and let's be honest. I think that here we go. We'll look at the full results here. I think that if Keon Coleman and the Chiefs are there at 32 and they stay at 32 and he's there, I don't think it takes that long. I think they pick him pretty quick, to be honest.
But
I mean, I think that's just my take. If he's there and they are not trading up or down, they're sticking where they are, then I think they'll take him for sure.
If you're the Chiefs, though, and you can, they would be the perfect candidate to try to trade up to get into the top 10 to get Romeo Odunze. That is my bold prediction, because they need a legit, think about it, man. Like, Travis Kelce is not the same Travis Kelce. I'm sorry. He's going to another year, a year older, and you could already see the decline. Like, they need offensive weapons.
Okay. So you're giving me an idea. We're going to go to our friends over the cap trade calculator, and we're going to go to the Chiefs, and we're going to go to, why don't we go to 8, the Falcons, because the Falcons could easily be a trade candidate, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what we can come up with here. Chiefs. Let me select Chiefs. Here we go. Because the Chiefs, if you're going to go from 32 to 8, you're going to have to give up a lot.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you got the best quarterback on the planet. You need like oh, come on, man. Like, they're not going to be able to repeat what they did last year with that receiver.
So this is wow, I like this. This is almost exactly even. Now, overthecap.com trade calculator is an amazing, if you guys want to use it, play around with things, they do stuff, they use it's an amazing site. So this one I could see happening, and it's almost exactly even because it goes by dollars or points, whatever. So you got, just to read off the dollars, it says 12,642 for the Falcons and 12,575 for the Chiefs. So, I mean, that's just about exactly even as you can get. So the trade is 8 overall to the Chiefs, 32 overall, and third round pick 95 overall to the Falcons. I mean, that sounds about right. That seems fair. That way the Chiefs still keep your second round pick. They still pick they'd pick top 10, right? They pick number 8, then they'd keep their second round pick. I mean, that could happen, right? That could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, man. I mean,
can you imagine either, any of these guys, Neighbors or Odunze with Mahomes?
I'm just saying, man. Like, Odunze, I think Odunze fits perfectly with what they are trying to do. And if I'm them, I don't try to play safe. They're trying to go for a three-peat. They got a great team already as constructed. but that receiving core is abysmal. And if Rashee Rice can even play, imagine Odunze and Rashee Rice with Mahomes.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Now let's get to it. What's let's explain some of these trades here,
Okay.
sir. Speak your truth.
Let me go to the Vikings and the Patriots because that's the biggest move considering we got Justin Jefferson going to the Patriots. I'm going to give it from the Vikings perspective, and I'm going to give it from the Patriots perspective. First of all, the Patriots are nowhere close to being a quarterback away. They they don't have anything, to be completely honest, on offense. They don't have anybody that's like a Pro Bowler or even like All Pro. They don't have anybody on offense. Justin Jefferson, if you ask most people, is the best receiver in the league. Worst case, he's the second or the third best receiver. So immediately they improve on offensive from their skill position. They stay in the first round. They get number 23 overall, which as we have here, you still could get Penix at 23, and that's not really much of a reach. I mean, if you hear what people say, if he didn't have his injuries, which clearly he does, but if he didn't, everyone says he would be a top 10 pick. So you're getting him at 23 when he's realistically going to go anywhere between, let's say, 28 to 35 in the real draft. So, like, that's not much of a reach. So you get, in this scenario, you have Justin Jefferson and Michael Penix. I mean, that's it's not a bad deal. It's not bad. From the Vikings perspective, clearly they so far have chosen not to pay Justin Jefferson at the moment for whatever reason. Maybe, in my opinion, to be honest, is because they feel they don't have a quarterback, which they don't. And if they're tying up, paying him the most amount of any receiver, can they really get like a really good quarterback? So if I'm just kind of spitballing out loud, I think that's why they haven't paid him. So in this scenario, they get their quarterback, right? They go to number 3 overall. And then our second Vikings trade has them going back into the top 10. So in this scenario, you decided this offseason you didn't want to pay Kirk Cousins, right? You decided in this reality, in this mock draft, and in so far in reality, you don't want to pay Justin Jefferson at the moment. So you didn't want to pay Cousins. You want to pay Jefferson. So how do you get a QB and receiver that could be potentially as good and pay him a lot less? Well, you get a QB at number 3 and receiver at 7, and you have, quote unquote, solved your issue. So from the Vikings perspective, that's where I think that these things make sense for them. So why don't you either comment on that or go to your Broncos trade, or both? Up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, when I first look at that, I don't get why Justin Jefferson's not being paid yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should have been aggressive after Justin Fields as well, right? They could have set themselves. I mean, there's a lot of teams that could have gone after Justin Fields for whatever reason. They have already made up their minds that he's a lost cause, but yet Zach Wilson keeps on getting chance after chance. But that's I don't even I don't want to go there, but I feel you've known me for 13 years, so you know where my mind is without even having to say it.
Here's the one thing I'll say in Zach Wilson. One thing. There was, to me, one game last year where Nathaniel Hackett, who I think has proven to be a horrible head coach, your Broncos would agree with that. Mm-hmm. And I think also isn't that good of an offensive coordinator because he just isn't that good, I don't think. I think Aaron Rodgers loves him, and Aaron Rodgers keeps getting him jobs, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I think that the one game that Hackett said, you know what, Wilson, you're going to throw the ball 45 times. You're going to throw it downfield. We're going to be aggressive with you. We're not going to protect you. We're not going to make you throw 5 yards. You're throwing it down the field. They lost the game, but he had his best game against the Chiefs. I think he had over 300 yards. I think it was 3 touchdowns. Now, again, it's a one-game sample size. I'm not making him out to be freaking Peyton Manning over here. But I'm saying I think some of his issues, and I'm going to stress some, have to do with coaching and the organization. Because I just don't think he was really ever put in a position to succeed. And here's a name that I'll throw at you. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but Geno Smith was horrible with the Jets. Horrible. Probably worse than Zach Wilson was. And now you see what he's doing in Seattle. I'm just saying a change of scenery is not the worst idea in the world.
I mean, yeah, but it's a little bit either you can play or you can't,
Yeah, but
right?
you're literally you're giving up. You're going back one round in the draft.
I'm not tripping on that. I'm not tripping on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I
I'm
feel
just
you.
what I'm just talking about. Like, what are you expecting to salvage at this point? Is what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yep.
I mean, he's a second overall pick, but I think, as Gary likes to say, he's a Fugazi second round overall pick. You know, I don't think he should have gone ahead of Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields was I think he was better than Trevor Lawrence, but that's besides the point. But yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say on that. I don't know. The game just looks to be too fast. Yeah. So anyhow, this Broncos trade. I honestly, what it really just comes down to, Sean Payton wants JJ McCarthy, and winning at 12 is not going to get it done. There's going to be other teams that are going to try to get him. They're in love with him. There's a lot of questions because he didn't need to do like all these acrobatic circus acts on the field that all of a sudden he's not a viable option, but winning still matters. He was 27-1, won a national title, and you still have to make the throws. Like, you can't just, as a quarterback, just, okay, I'm just going to run the ball. I'll dink and dunk. Like, he didn't do that. Like, there have been enough instances of where he threw the ball down the field. He's young. He can run. Like, I am starting to become more of a fan of JJ McCarthy, but we'll see. That's all that trade really came down to.
All right, I like it. And from the Giants' perspective, they would be absolutely thrilled if they got Brock Bowers at 12. They would absolutely love it if this trade actually happens on Thursday, which would not be a shock. I mean, what if the Broncos don't want to move up to 4 or 5 for some reason, right? Maybe they don't. They know that moving up there would cost them a little bit more, and they can still get a quarterback at 6. They might not want to trade with, Arizona, or maybe they do want to go to 6 because maybe they don't. It'll cost more to go into the top 5. It always does. So they could reasonably go to 6 instead of what I'm sure most mock drafts are putting the Broncos at 4 or 5. I think 6 still makes sense. You're still going to have a quarterback there to take. So I think Broncos, they could easily move to 6 on Thursday. Maybe they go to 4, maybe they go to 5. But I think 6 is a good spot. You can still get a quarterback at 6.
Yeah, but my thing is like outside, like my thing is when it just comes to without anyone stepping on the field, I feel the only surefire prospect that I feel that we can say is legitimate is Caleb Williams. I feel like Jaden Daniels had one tremendous good season. I feel Drake May had a really good season in 2022, but his numbers went down in 2023. Michael Penix, those 2 knee injuries and having 4 career-ending injuries in Indiana. But again, I know that was years ago, but the NFL is a beast. And then Bo Nix, like, is Bo Nix fixed from his time at Auburn? I'm just not sure. So for me, if I'm the Broncos, I don't trade up to get a quarterback that still has a litany of questions when you've already given up so much draft capital on the Russell Wilson trade. You feel what I'm saying? So no.
Yep. I feel you. I like it. We had one more trade, so we will explain that one now. We did a little bit in real time, but the Jets, they've given up a lot of picks to get Rodgers and some other trades for that receiver that they ultimately traded back to the Chiefs, McCole Hardman. They traded draft picks to get him. They've made several trades that have given up draft picks. So I think in this scenario, this mock scenario, going from 10 to 19, but also getting another top 100 pick, although it's barely, but getting 99 overall, and giving up a 6th round pick, so you're in the 200s and you're getting to 99, I think is good. And we know the Rams have been extremely aggressive. I mean, their owner with the F them picks, or their GM, I should say. It's the first time they have a 1st round pick in a long time. And if they're going to keep their aggressiveness, I think on Thursday, they stick true to what they're doing, they're going to move up. Maybe it's not 10. Maybe they jump to, let's say, 14. The Saints, maybe. maybe they go here at 15. But if they're going to stay aggressive, they're probably going to move into, either 10 like we have them, or 12, 13, somewhere in that range, maybe 15. But yeah, the Rams, we expect them to be aggressive. That's what they have done the last 5+ years. So
Look,
I don't think they're sitting pat at 19 on
I
Thursday.
mean, you
I,
look
I
at the
don't think
division.
so.
I mean, we said going into 2023 in the show that I made the prediction. I really had thought that how young the Rams were, that they were going to be one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the NFL. I really thought they were going to win maybe 3 or 4 games, and that was because of youth. But what McVay has been able to do, find Puka Nacua in the 4th or 5th round and just go off like that, like and people miss on picks all the time, right? Like we just make guesses, but situations matter, right? Like they do.
Yeah.
And so for Drake May,
there's a possibility. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying, like, for Drake May falling at 3 and going to Minnesota and to have Justin Jefferson and Addison as your 2 receivers would be the best thing that you could wish for. I think that'd be a perfect place for him to go.
Yeah, I could see that for sure, and I think that similar to what we've got here, I don't think that I think Washington has made up their mind. I think they're gonna go Jaden Daniels. So then on Thursday night, the Patriots got a big decision, because there's the Vikings that might want that 3 pick. There's the Broncos, who you can't see it here, but they were at 12. Broncos might want that 3 pick. The Raiders might want that 3 pick. The where else we going here? The Titans. No, the Titans wouldn't want the 3 pick. But the point is, Patriots hold a lot of cards. There's 3 or 4 teams that realistically could move up. So the Patriots either take their second choice quarterback or a third choice quarterback, or maybe the quarterback they really want, or maybe they're like, shit, we're not a quarterback away, because they're not. They need weapons. For me personally, and this is slightly controversial, I guess, but for me personally, Thursday night, if I'm the Patriots, I'm sticking at 3 probably, and I'm taking Harrison Jr. I mean, you need weapons. You need you need quarterbacks, but you need freaking weapons. You need somebody. For me, I'm Patriots, I'm taking Harrison at 3.
Here's the thing. There's a guy named Spencer Rattler that I think a lot of people are forgetting about. A guy that was a top prospect going to Oklahoma. Unfortunately, Caleb Williams. I mean, hey, it happens. But if I'm the Patriots, you do that, you better damn have a plan to draft him in that second round, because you got to go quarterback. Like, you got to have a direction at the quarterback position. But I get Marvin Harrison.
They could go. I'm pretty sure they pick early in the second round too, so they could go Harrison Jr., right, and then let me just double check. I think they have like number 30. They have number 34 overall, which if you really needed to, you could move up to 33 or whatever. 34 overall is there's 32 teams. So that's the second pick of the second round. So you probably could get Harrison Jr. and Bo Nix. Probably. I mean, that's not a bad thing. I mean, is that better than getting, let's say, Drake May at 3, and then I don't know, maybe one of those Texas guys, Worthy, at 32, at 34? I don't know. I mean, what's the better scenario? I'd rather have the better receiver, to be honest. I mean, Harrison Jr. is that good. I feel like that's what I would do on Thursday.
And then one more player, like, kind of before we wrap up, is Brock Bowers. Like, there's just where he's going to go, and it's not because he's not talented or that he's not worth. Like, if someone drafted him top 5, I wouldn't be mad at that, because tight ends are essential. Teams with good tight ends. I mean, Dalton Kincaid. I mean, Kyle Pitts. Unfortunately, he hasn't gotten the ball, but he is a top. You know what I'm saying? So where he goes, I think he's going to be a franchise.
If the Jets stay at 10 and it falls as it probably will, they'll take Bowers at 10 if he's there and they stay there. If they've made the decision to stay at 10, or if they're looking at the board and they're like, Bowers is still there, they could take him at 10 for sure. No doubt about it.
Or what about the Chiefs trading up or trying to trade up and move up to get him? Maybe. Okay, Odunze's gone. It's the
Yeah,
12th pick, right? Going from 8 to having to go from where you're at to 12 is a lot easier than going to 8. So
yeah. 12 would be your Broncos though, because the screen is saying the Giants because you did the trade.
we wouldn't trade. We wouldn't help them. So I'm just
10 would be the Jets.
Yeah.
10. Okay.
I mean,
I can see that. I
don't
see
know.
that.
I don't know, man. We'll see. But yeah, man. Any other players? Any other exciting storylines you're kind of looking forward to seeing on this first round, boss?
I think that, I mean, honestly, just for selfish reasons, I'm wondering what Dallas is going to do because they could trade down, they could draft best available, they could. I mean, there's a lot of things that Dallas could do, and even though, unfortunately, for me at least, has not led to them winning the playoffs, they have mostly drafted well for the last 10 to 12 years. So for the most part, they hit on picks. So I trust them as far as drafting. Now, winning in January, that's a whole nother story. But the point is, ever since Jerry Jones gave up some control with the draft, but some people don't know, but starting with Johnny Manziel, that draft in 2010, maybe, that was the first draft that Jerry Jones said, you know what? I might not know everything. So he's pounding the table in the whole, the draft room, 30 people, whatever it is. He's pounding the table, like swearing, draft Manziel, blah, blah, blah. And they're all like, nope, nope, nope. And that was the first year that Jerry Jones was like, you know what? Maybe the scouts know a little bit better than me. So for those of you who don't know, on draft night, Jerry Jones does not make the final decision. So, and ever since that happened, they started drafting better. What a surprise. What a surprise.
Well, they got some things. They got some things that they need to sort out, man. Especially what they're going to do with Dak's contract. They shot themselves in the foot. They completely.
At this point, I almost feel like they've kind of made up their mind that they're just going to run with him at his huge cap hit and take their chances next year. And I think that that's probably a big mistake. But at the same time, if they've come up through a decision that he can't win a Super Bowl, which I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't know if they can. So if you have a quarterback, you have a good team or a great team, whatever it is, and you have a quarterback that you don't think can get you to a championship, you don't pay him. So maybe that's the conclusion that they've come to, which they won't say publicly. But if maybe they're like, we can't win a Super Bowl with Dak, then why are we going to sign on for him for another 4 or 5 years? Maybe that's the decision they've come to behind the scenes, that we don't want Dak as our quarterback the next 5 years.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe
contract. Hey, they got to do something. They got to do something. But all right, sir. This has been a fun draft. There's definitely been some. This is going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm curious to see what your team does. Curious to see what my Broncos do. But for me,
now that we are wrapped up, we will be back tomorrow night, 8:30. And for now, sir, I'm going to flip on the Knicks 76ers because we've got 79-78 in the fourth quarter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Orlando's, they were trying to make a comeback, and then Toronto Maple Leafs just scored on Boston Bruins. So
nice.
Lovely.
All right, sir.
All right, sir. That was all for all of us. Thank you for the support. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Peace.
Peace and love.